I'm Anil Kumar, and in this series of sketching graph of absolute functions, I've taken up some excellent examples. Now here we have to sketch f of x, which is equal to square root of x squared divided by x. Now you've seen a couple of my videos, and I hope you remember what is square root of x squared. What is square root of x squared? Right? This is a very good question to answer. If you know the solution of this, then you can actually sketch the correct graph. Now square root of x squared is not x but absolute value of x. Correct, is absolute value of x. Well, let me once again show you a different method of doing this. Why we are saying absolute value of x. Let us take some values of x and figure out what is square root of x squared, right? It's easiest way. So you expected x, so straight line. Let me take 4 points, right? Let's say minus 2, okay, minus 1, 0, plus 1 and 2, 5 points. So we'll start with this plus 2. So if x is plus 2, what is x squared? So if we are doing square of 2 squared, so 2 squared is 4 and square root of 4 is 2, so you get the same number. How about 1? So if I say 1, in that case square root of 1 square, which is 1. So you get the same number. You see, in these two cases you get the same number, and square root of 0 square will be equal to 0. You again get the same as x. So you are kind of right when you're dealing with numbers which are greater than or equal to 0. Now see what happens when you substitute minus 1 here. So let me show you here. So square root of minus 1 square is equals to square root of 1, which is 1, not minus 1. So this is 1. Do you see that? Similarly, if you do square root of minus 2, minus 2 square, you get what? You get square root of 4, which is 2. So this is 2. It is not minus 2. So what you are getting on the right side are all positive values, and therefore we write square root x. You get the idea now, correct? So it's a very important thing to know to get the right answer for this particular graph or similar questions, right? Now in pre-calculus, this is very important since you need to understand this for calculus, okay? Now we could write this function f of x as equals to, we know square root of x squared is absolute x, as absolute x over x. You get the idea, right? Now you know what is absolute x. So whenever you have absolute function, you have to consider it as a piecewise function, right? You know absolute x is defined as equal to x when x is greater than or equals to 0, and it's minus of x when x is less than 0. Therefore, we always consider two parts, x less than 0 and x greater than or equal to 0. If x is less than 0, then absolute value of x is minus x. So we'll write f of x as equals to minus x over x, which is equal to minus 1. When x is greater than or equal to 0, in that case, absolute value of x is plus x. So we have plus x over x, which is plus 1. And that gives us the graph, right? So now we can sketch the graph here. The graph for us will be when x is less than 0, in that case the value is minus 1. So let this be minus 1, and that is how it should look like. When x is greater than or equal to 0, that means filled up circle, right? Greater than or equal to, it is positive 1. So that happens to be the graph for the function f of x given to us, right? So that is how you should be sketching the function. The value is plus 1 and minus 1. So the domain of this function is that we cannot have, actually I'm sorry, I should not have written this. X is not equal to 0, right? It's in the denominator. Okay, so we will not consider this equal to part here, and this should be a whole, right? So let me make this correction. I'm sorry for that. Okay, you can see the domain is all real numbers except x is equals to 0, and therefore we have whole on the y-axis, right? And it is plus 1 when x is greater than 0, and it's minus 1 when x is less than 0, correct? So that is how you get the graph of this particular function. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.